Hello everyone, it's Lavinia. Welcome. In today's video, I wanted to share with you this coloring book that I purchased at Michael's. This is from Johanna Basford, Wonderful Wildflowers, a coloring book and floral quest. And I purchased this, it was $18. And I do have one other book of hers. It's actually Drawing Inky Wonderlands. I may do a flip through of that in the future. So it's not necessary. It is a coloring book, I suppose, but it's more on drawing her style. So let's go ahead and flip through this. So here are some little flower balls. This is the same as her cover. This book belongs to. And so this came out in 2025, so just last year. This is pretty too, this heart. And so here she has an introduction page, and it says there will be an abundance of blooms, but there is also hidden among them are 12 rare species featured in the Plant Hunters list at the back of the book. Can you find them all? So these flowers, from what I understand, are not realistic flowers. They are just flowers that she came up with, but she has them in the back of the book. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So these are the flowers, so numbered 1 through 12. And these are just some of her designs, which she incorporated, maybe taking the stem from one plant, the leaf from another, a bloom from another. So these are the ones that she has throughout the book. And if you can find them, and you can color them however you wish. So here she has her top tips for coloring, which she likes to use color pencils, a metallic or glitter pen for adding a touch of magic or shimmer. And then there are some test pages. There's a couple of them here in the back of the book to see if, maybe your alcohol markers or watercolor or Sharpies, anything like that would bleed through. And she does recommend popping a blank sheet of paper under the page. And then there is a hashtag if you want to share the coloring pages. So here's this first one. Reminds me of a snail shell. So that's very pretty. I can see doing some highlighting and shading also in the blank areas. Then here are some tiny ones where maybe if I just have 10, 15 minutes of time, maybe 30 minutes of time, and just want to come here and maybe de-stress. These are just some little small drawings. Here is a nice garland or wreath, and I can see myself either practicing adding to it. I think that would be fun. Here's a very cute little rabbit, very adorable. Flowers in between. A couple of little mushrooms. Here's also a simple wreath, but again, I can see adding to this. And the paper is nice quality, thick. It's a cream color. Here's a pretty moth, again with flower details as part of the wings. This looks like a mandala to me, so this might be fun to practice different colors, different techniques. Here's a little moth inside this bloom, these blooms. Almost looks like maybe you're looking up or you're looking down. Here's a page of different flowers with repeating patterns. So this might be fun to test different color palettes and see, how they turn out. Again, this might be, maybe coloring 2 at a time whenever you're just short on time. This is a very pretty picture illustration. I do like this one with the bouquet and then the flowers and then all these different butterflies and moths hovering over that. I wonder if one of her flowers might be hidden in here. Here's another sort of mandala with the repeating patterns. Very cute. Reminds me of fuchsia, these flowers here. This isn't necessarily a mandala because it doesn't seem to repeat the pattern, even though some of the flowers are on here. Again, maybe her hidden flowers might be somewhere in here. Again, I can see myself adding to this. So if I wanted to continue drawing, maybe doing some Zen doodles. This is very cute. I do like this page. I see a little key hanging from that vine. Very pretty. I do like this page. Here's another one where, again, seems to be the focus at the center. And then if you wanted to add different backgrounds, I suppose you can go ahead and do that. Maybe adding some of your own butterflies or making this a night scene since there are some stars here. Very pretty, this fox with all these flowers here. Again, just a circle with different varieties of flowers in here. Flowers and leaves. This kind of, I don't know, looks like maybe foxglove to me. A variety of that. Some mushrooms. Again, a wreath going around there. I can see this, can't remember the name of the plant, but I could see this with green and then red along the trim. I think that plant starts with an A, but I can't remember. These are a nice bunch of hidden flowers in here. Here again is a spiral. And then all different flower illustrations in here. So I wonder if these are the majority of what she has in the book. So I think this will be nice to come here again and then, you know, whenever I'm short on time, maybe just practicing with color pencils, maybe glitter pens. Here is a nice wallpaper, I would say, of flowers and leaves. Here are 9 designs of, let's say, flower clusters or flower balls with leaves. Again, just flowers and their stems and their leaves here. So that's what I mean. I can probably take a look at this and then go to pages where maybe there might not be as much and maybe add them to the pages, like practicing my own drawings and interpretation. It's your book, you know, so do what you like. So these 2 pages have some butterflies or moths. I do like this one. This will give me a chance to practice coloring maybe metal as well as clear glass. There's a pencil with a little caterpillar there. A little snail here. Looks like maybe a raspberry. More of her flowers. And again, I can see maybe adding dirt here and maybe the caterpillars and bugs and butterflies. This looks like a bear. Yep. Another one of her wreaths. This little mushroom house. More of her circular flowers. I don't know, reminds me of a dish, of a plate, which might be fun to maybe add an edge and maybe make that a plate. Here's a heart. I was going to say I could maybe add this as hearts all year, but maybe if I color that in, then I will put that hashtag. I like this one because it's square shaped. And I do like how the sun, it looks like a sun here with the rays of flowers coming out of it. Gives it that optical illusion. Here is a hidden key. Not necessarily a poppy, but it could be something like that. Again, with some stars. Different variety of flowers, so these will be fun to color in. These almost look like, reminds me of like leaf shapes of what a weed would be. Very cute bee. I do like that. I might practice drawing some of these bees around here because I think that is really cute. So I'm going to practice that. Here's another little bee as well. So I will be taking my ink pen and practicing that. Here is a square frame, and here's an arch with, kind of reminds me of sunflowers. And then here, different butterflies and moths to color in. I'm trying to think of what shape this reminds me of, but I don't know. If you see a shape in here that you think of, let me know in the comment section. But this looks like it's a mirror image with the moth there in the middle. This too seems to have some sort of shape, but I can't think of what it might be. Just some more singular flowers with their stems and leaves. Some of those hanging balls. I don't know if they call them kissing balls. This looks like a heron. Again, with all these flowers here. And here too, I can see myself maybe adding additional drawings or doodles or Zen doodles along the along this page, along this heron. Very cute little chipmunk. It's got its little acorns here. Here too, again, there's a lot of blank space if that is something that you're into, and whether it's either creating different background effects or adding your own touch of drawing. This too, I mean, to me, it looks like there might be something where she's leaving this for us to add. And that goes back again to her book, Drawing Inky Wonderlands, where that's part of the book is really where you practice drawing. So I am going to take that into consideration. This looks like a mandala. This too, almost a mirror image. There is a moth hiding right there. This rectangular shape, that's pretty. This looks like a forest scene. So I think this is like the first one that we've seen where it might be a forest scene. This actually, you can see the tree trunks here, and then you're looking out like little whimsical trees. Some mushrooms over here. Very cute. A couple of little butterflies. Maybe the king or queen hummingbird. Again, little stars. Another wreath. Wallpaper. And just flower scenery here. Now, I know she has other coloring books. Again, the only other one that I have is that drawing book. I like this one here with all these little bees to give me some practice. So perhaps this might be similar to her other coloring books, but this is kind of still new to me because it's really her only other coloring book that I have. This is a very cute little panda. Love this on the soles of its feet. Another circular plate. Looks like wallpaper. That's what I call it when it's just like one whole page of a repeating pattern. This reminds me of a strawberry. I guess when I first look at it, I think of a strawberry. Could be an iceberg too. But this is cute with the little homes here as if it's underground. Well, I guess it is underground, but I see a strawberry. Little caterpillar right there. Very cute. This also reminds me of a plate or even a tile, one of those old-fashioned tin tiles. We see a lot of them in the old antique shops in the town over, but it's got some mushrooms. That's what it reminds me of, a tin ceiling tile, even though the designs might be different. Here too, sort of a wreath, rectangular wreath, where again, something can be added here. This looks like a very pretty peacock, stylized peacock. Another plate with a few butterflies. Again, another wreath. Yeah, this kind of looks plain and simple to me. I would like to embellish that with either the bees or the butterflies adding to it. And then here's the plant hunters list with the 12 different flowers. So I'd have to go back and take a look at that. This kind of reminds me of maybe a pansy, like an upside down pansy. So that could be where she was thinking of that. And then here we come to the end, and then the color palette test page. So 2 pages of that, and then the inside cover, I'm sure you can color that in as well. So again, this is the flip through of Johanna Basford, Wonderful Wildflowers, a coloring book and floral quest, and it came out at the end of 2025. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye.